Welcome to Are You Not Entertained? Today, we have my good friend Nico Santini on the pod. He's an artist. From rock to rap, he does it all. But an artist, I don't think encompasses all that Nico is and does. I think a word that better describes him is a storyteller. Nico, through music, through his writing, is a storyteller. And today on the podcast, we talk about his crazy dreams, from lucid dreams to regular dreams, to crazy ET experiences, to mushrooms. We talk about it all. I hope everybody enjoys today's podcast, and I hope everybody leaves with a little bit of motivation, and I hope everybody has a fire lit under their ass to pursue that thing that they've been putting off.
Looks good.
All right. Mic test, mic test. Does that bring up any memories for you or what? Mic test, mic test.
It does. Like, that is. Every time you said mic test, I kept thinking about the album. I was like, that's funny.
Yeah.
But people do it all the time.
Dude, how old were you when you did that?
Are we in it? Are we in the thing?
We're in the thing.
You tried to hit me with Joe Rogan. You tried to hit me with the smooth transition.
No, I mean, how old were you when you did that, though, actually? I'm legitimately actually curious.
So, I think I was 15 when it came out, but I was probably working on it when I was 14. But, yeah. You
were 14 when you did that shit?
Dude, I've been doing music since I was as little. Like, I remember when I was younger, I would ride my bike in my backyard and just kind of just sing random stuff, and I was just freestyling lyrics. They weren't like real songs. And then like as I got older, I realized that like music's fun. But hi, what's up, everyone? I'm Nico. Well, hello. I'm so bad at this, bro.
I already introed you, bro. You're good.
Okay.
So you were 14 years old when you dropped your first album on SoundCloud.
Yes, I was. No, I was 13. I was 13 because I started with a mixtape. So I had a. I mean, I can just give you the rundown. So I started music when I made this song called Sick Figure, because it was the first song that didn't have like a deep voice filter. Because I started making music when I was like around like probably like 13 was when I really started taking it serious, but I didn't want to use a real voice. So I used this like really deep voice filter, and it was like, I'm ATR rapper.
Is that because you didn't want people to know you were a kid still?
I didn't want people to know who I was. Yeah.
Oh, you were trying to be like mysterious?
I guess, but like it wasn't like I was using a fake voice. It was like an effect. Like I went on the thing and I put the pitch down, and it made me sound like, I don't know, but I made like a couple songs off that, and it was like a whole mystery of who I was.
So what was the thought process behind doing that though?
I just like making music. I didn't want people to know who I was. I was too like shy. I don't know. I just wanted to make music. You know what I mean? I wasn't like it was part of me was like, yeah, it would be cool if it like blew up and it was like this mysterious guy. But like part of me was just like, I think I was just too shy to put it out there.
Is that why you went by Avia?
Well, so here's the thing. So when I released that as ETR rapper, the reason I was segueing all that was I released Sick Figure, which was my first song that was like when I was like probably like right before 14. And I might have been 14, I'm not sure. But when I released that, it was without the voice filter, because my buddy caught me and figured out who I was. He was like, yo, who are you, ETR rapper? And he was like, I think I know who you are. And I was like, I don't know. You have no clue. And he's like, let me guess. And he gave like 3 names, and they were all wrong. And then on the 4th one, he said me. And because it was my homie, I was like, all right, I'll tell him. And immediately he told everybody. And I was like, it's so bad. And I went to school, and I remember getting bullied so hard. Like, it was like, not like, it's different when you're bullied by your friends, man, because it was like, I wasn't mad at them. I knew they were right.
It was just busting your balls kind of thing?
Yeah, but we were so young. They're some vicious, bro. They're vicious. And they like, I remember one, they were like, it wasn't this one. I shouldn't say this was vicious, but I remember it hurt me a lot. They were like, they kept saying, one bar was like, something, 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 and you get the cold shoulder. And I kept saying, like, my boys kept going up to me. They're like, cold shoulder. And it was funny until I was like, man, they really think I suck. I was like, this stinks. Right. So, anyways, I made Sick Figure when I was at the Penn Relays. I was in Philadelphia, and I was trying to like impress this girl who's going to remain unknown. And I released it because I was so embarrassed that everyone knew who I was.
Was it like about her or something?
No, not at all.
No,
it was just like, I'm that guy.
You were using
I was like, I know how to make music. Don't think I'm this deep voice guy.
Is that how you...
I was almost forced into becoming like social with it, because like I was like I was trying to keep it secret so much that like.
So by this point, would the girl know who you were or no?
Yeah, she knew who I was, but
like
I was
like with the music name.
With the music name, I went as Anomaly.
So you had a couple names.
Yeah, so I went as the first name I had was Anomaly, and I was like, I call myself Anomaly because I'm a child prodigy.
And you got a couple hits.
Yeah.
Off that.
Yeah,
name.
so that was Sick Figure was the first one off that, and I remember my boys, the same ones who had roasted me and stuff, they pulled up a video of their Snapchats of them like chilling in bed going, yeah, and I was like, yo, I got it. I was like, I did it, and like everyone was watching it. I released a couple songs, and then I made a mixtape called 1 in a Million, and that was at like probably like I said, I'm not sure if I was 13 or 14. It was around that time. Everything was around the same age. I don't remember when I released it, but either way, I released 1 in a Million, and that was like a mixtape. But then I was like, I want to make an album. So before Mic Test,
Are you still 14?
Yeah. So this is all before Mic Test. That's Avio.
How old were you for Mic Test?
So when Mic Test came out, I was 15.
15.
Yeah.
Still young as shit to be releasing an album. And you produced it yourself and everything, didn't you?
Not the beats, but the engineering and the lyrics and all that.
But it was so impressive. I mean, guys, when I tell you this shit was impressive, I mean, it was really good shit. Was Castaway on Mic Test?
No, Castaway was on Anomaly. That
dude.
was that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Anomaly.
And that one had 21 songs, dude. It had 21 full written songs, and then I made that, and I remember people kept saying like I got to stop singing. So I was like, I know I could body
the singing
rap.
voice was good.
Well, people said
I'm
it wasn't.
feeling like a castaway, but I love it.
They didn't like it. I don't know.
I actually.
I probably had one girl say they didn't like it, or one guy say they didn't like it, and it probably just ate at my head. And I was just like, I don't know. I was like, I don't want to just be like,
dude, but it was so good.
Well, look. So I wanted to.
So does this have to do with your shyness? Is that?
No. What I was going to say
these
is
things, and it gets in your head, type shit, and then.
No. I was like, I'm ready to rap. And I want to show people that I'm not this singing guy. As like, I knew that if I was better at rap, but I didn't want to be known as a rapper. But I knew if like when people were like hearing the singing stuff, and I heard people say, I like this song, I didn't really like that one, didn't really like that one, but that one was good. You should rap more. I really like your rap voice. Some of that raps. And I was like, you know what? I could just body some rap stuff, and they would just leave me alone. You know,
and that's when you changed your name.
And that's I changed my name to Avio, and then I started with Mic Test, and then I was going to go back to the singing. So by that point, I was going to do the singing, but yeah, I just kind of like, it was around then I started producing my own beats, and then after I produced my own beats, I just kind of like, yeah, I mean, I've just been locked in writing, and I really don't feel like I want to put stuff out, because every time I get ready to put something out, I'm like, I don't want to yet. Like, it's just not like, I hate when I see videos and they're like, you're that guy who like wants to, like, you've heard it. I show you them, and I could show you more after this. I have a lot of songs, and I don't want to keep them. I don't, because I feel like...
Yeah, dude, you're sitting on like a dozen, at least.
More than a dozen. I could show you, bro. I
Yeah, and a lot of them I like, and I'm trying to persuade you to release them. And that's where it's like, you're falling into this category of people that, it's like, you are so creatively minded. And it's like, I think everybody should hear this stuff that you have to say, and the stories that you tell. But it's like, you don't feel like it's good enough, but like, when is it good enough? I just actually talked about this in the last podcast. It's like, it will never be good enough.
Well, no, it will. Like, so, like, well, my thing is, it's a lot of pride, which is pushing it, and it's like, I'm very confident that I know that when I put it out, it's going to be who I'm starting as, this domino effect of who I want to present myself as. Now, I'm not saying you got to go into things perfectly.
You're building a rep.
But,
You're
like,
building a rep.
I want to make sure that what I release, I'm not known as. And I've remembered so vividly the stereotypes that came with me when I started with the ETR rapper, how I was just this kid who couldn't rap. I had to prove myself again. And then when I was just singing, and they said I didn't know how to, like, I could rap, but like, I just felt like everything was trying to like segue into me becoming something I was proud of. And like, sorry if I'm all over the place, but I just like, yeah, it's not that I'm not proud of it. It feels like it's not that moment, you know what I mean? And it's not like it has to be perfect, but it's going to set the foundation of everything that I release, because I create music differently than other people. I think when you see it, you're going to understand. It's all a process, and I want to put out the best stuff. And if the process hasn't ticked in the way that I want it to, but it's done enough to show me where I want to go, I think. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm bad at this, bro.
Eventually, I think you fall into a trap of where you're manufacturing perfection or you're manufacturing a moment, dude. I think you got to start riding these waves that you get, because you come over and we're making a movie or something, and everybody on the cast or the crew hears your beats, hears you laying down a track, and it's like this vibe. It's like, that's the moment, dude. It's like organic as hell, and everybody's rocking with it. And I'm like, yeah, Nico, drop it.
Well, let me ask you this: what does dropping it ever gain for you by stuff besides like financial stuff? If you feel like financially,
What did it drop?
what would it gain for you besides financial gain? It would give me a voice, but like I don't really like, dude. I mean, you hear me on the pod. I haven't worked out. I'm not I'm 23 years old, but I'm clearly not smart enough to be like in the spotlight like that. I'm going to make a mockery of myself, and I'm not. I know that's possible no matter what age you are, but it's different when you're going into it and you're like, you know what? I want to learn more. I don't want to be passed around and busy, and like I just don't want that to be me yet, because I'm not. It's not that I like I said, it's the moment, but it's like. It's the moment everything starts, and it's like I'm in it, and it's like
it's like are you? It sounds like there's like a fear there. There's like a blockade, and that's why I wanted to have you on the pod, because I feel like there's a lot of people that need to hear this shit, and that they need this kick in the ass, because it's like you can't fear it. Like the way you're talking and the way it's like you're so passionate and everything, and it sounds like once it starts, once you drop that album, once you drop that song, and you get that rep. You feel like that's what you are gonna be for your life. When I think it's this metamorphosis, and I think that's like what life is. You aren't always one note. You aren't always just Avio. You're not always just Nico. Like there's different versions of you, Nico, and like you're gonna always be altering and changing. And
it's not a bad point.
Metamorphosis. So it's like you say that you don't want to drop your music and everything because you're gonna gain this rep and you're not ready for it to be passed all around, and that you don't even know who you want to be yet. But it's like me neither, you know? Like me neither. Like yeah. I would never drop any movies. I wouldn't even. This podcast wouldn't be happening. Like none of this. Nothing here would be here if I didn't at one point just say, fuck it. Fuck around and
but
find
that's what
out.
I'm saying. I really like. I'm not good at expressing how I feel without making it seem like I'm trying to cover up for just like not wanting to drop. Like, and it's not me being. I really don't want it to come off as me being thick-headed. Like I don't like. I can't get what you're saying. Like I could do that. It's not that it's not. The thing is, I'm not knocking your idea. It's an option. I could show the whole metamorphosis. I could start from the bottom, go to the top. They'd see the whole rise and fall. And it's like I said, you don't want to wait for that perfect moment. The thing is I feel like I already had it. I wish I try to explain this to people, and it's not ego glazing. I felt like I was on top of the world in school, and there was times where I had lows and there was times when I had highs. But I'll tell you, when I started releasing music, there was people I did not know, and they were showing love, and I felt like that was my moment, and I did it. And then after everything happened, I wanted it again, and I released stuff, and I did things, and they just didn't feel the same. I didn't feel like that they hit, as in like they didn't. I could be doing more. And I'm like, so I know I can sing, I know I can rap, but you know what, quite frankly, if I drop a good singing song or I drop a good rap song, it's nothing more than just showing I'm a good lyricist. And it's like, I want to just create a big body of work that personifies me. Like, I don't know if you
No, and I'm glad you said that, because that's what I wanted to segue into, because, so that's the thing that's different about Nico for everybody listening on the pod. So, yeah, I introduced Nico as a rapper and as an artist from, I think I said from rock to rap, but like he's not. I also added another. You know what I also described you as? A storyteller.
A storyteller, all right.
Because that's like I think that encompasses you. So like the way that Nico operates on all these songs, right? So he dropped all these songs from when he was 13, 14, 15, 16, and then now he's 23 and he's been working on shit for years. And I have been fortunate enough to be on the inside of this process with Nico. And the way that he operates is like a movie director, more so than a rapper or a music composer, or whatever the hell you want to call it, an artist. He formulates like a story, and it has structure. And he unveils the story in songs. So the first track takes you here, then here, then here, then here, then here. And he writes books and short stories and all this crazy shit surrounding his music. So, like, that's why I want you to release this to the world, dude, because it's like you've put so much thought into it. And I think a lot of people on the podcast need to hear this. It's like, stop overthinking. You know, you get analysis paralysis, dude, and you're fucking paralyzed right now.
I don't like, look, you said
You got good shit, Nico.
I got good stuff, but not a lot of completeness. Like, I got a lot of good pieces, but until the puzzle's there, it doesn't, like I feel like what I'm trying to say is, like, the puzzle, it doesn't have to look perfect. I understand that. And I understand the metamorphosis comes to life is like a big picture, but like my puzzle pieces, I found really good pieces of what I want to do. And I feel like the problem is it's yet to connect in a part of me that feels like this is what I want to do. And it's not like, I guess it's kind of like looking in myself a bit, but I kind of like, every time I release music, it's like I'm a musician. If I write a book, I'm a book guy. If I talk on Instagram, I'm the guy who talks on Instagram.
You're scared to get labeled, right?
And then if you do everything, you're the guy who does everything. It's like I'm just like, right. I think like in life, when you just express yourself, that's what's raw. AI's coming out. Everybody's going to be able to write like nobody can see. It's going to be ridiculous. Everybody's going to be the best writer in the world. So what's going to stick is what's real and what's human and quantity of it. Like, the quantity isn't always quality, but when it comes to being human, the quantity becomes quality, because with AI coming around, there's going to be so much greatness thrown in your face that some people are just going to look to you for some raw, real, what is you. And I'm not saying that I'm not there. I do want to start putting stuff out, but like, I'm building the foundation of when I start releasing, it's going to be a big ride of like a big wave of how I'm releasing content. And if that wave isn't formulated enough, it's the same thing as having a hole in the plan. And like, I'm not all talk, and I don't want, and the thing is you can say like, oh, I'm not all talk, and then you let people get in your head and you don't say like, oh, well, maybe my plan's not good enough because I'm waiting too long. But then you're like, if it just doesn't work, then what was the point? If it doesn't work, it was all for nothing.
Well, I think I disagree with that, because I think if it doesn't work, then it was a learning lesson. Like, nothing is nothing. Everything is something.
But you can learn learning lessons without having to release your stuff. Like,
that's like saying you could learn how to run a 100-meter dash as fast as Usain Bolt, but never run the 100-meter dash. That's exactly what you're saying. You're trying to say you're trying to get this bell curve, you're trying to do this learning curve before actually doing the damn thing and releasing and distributing and learning and failing. You're like trying to bypass shit. But bro, I think that's what is unique about you, though. You have such a high standard, and you have just this crazy friggin' brain, dude, where you're like bopping this way, that way, the third. It's so, and I don't say that as a gripe or as a negative thing. Like, that's why I wanted you on the podcast, because you are so creatively minded, and your brain is so active, like mine. Like, me and you just can't shut that thing off in our brain, and it just fires and it fires and it fires. So I guess I wanted to ask you was, have you always been like this? Like, even as a kid, has your brain always been rapid fire, thinking, never lets you rest kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like I like figuring things out. It's like you like just like how you like learning something about yourself. If you do something and it works, it's like, ooh, that felt good. And then like you try to find other things that work, and then you start realizing that like certain things you do can create a bigger feeling. Like, I'm not trying to sound weird. It's more like an emotional thing. Like, certain things that hit you, and you're like, ooh, that felt good. And you chase that high, like literally like an addict. And you're like, I just like feeling good about things. And it's like you start getting like in your own world, and like you just. Yeah, when I was younger, I just loved, like, I remember I made animations, I made video games, I was always on video games too, like, not just creating them, like, playing them too, like, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just, yeah, I forget where I was going with that.
Is that why you learned to play the piano in Interstellar as well as you did? Just because it makes you feel good?
Dude, it feels great.
Dude, so this man, we're at my housewarming party, okay, so I just moved out of my parents' place, I got my own place here with my girlfriend. And this man shows up to the housewarming. He sees that we got a piano in the house because my girlfriend plays. So he sits down and he starts ripping the Interstellar theme song.
The Interstellar Experience, not that one's by Tony Ann. If anyone knows what I'm talking about, it's definitely a little bit crazier.
It was awesome. Yeah. It was really awesome. It was crazy, dude. You just ripped that. And that's what I mean, dude. That's what's so friggin' cool about you. It's like you just chase things just because you love the pursuit of a journey. It's like you're always in pursuit, and I feel like that's kind of, and I can relate to that, is what I'm trying to say. Like, and I appreciate that, and that's why I like to sit
I can
down.
see you chasing it. Yeah.
Yeah, I
it's
like to
cool.
sit down and talk to you. Like, I value our talks because I think we're both in pursuit, you know?
Yeah.
And you, more than anybody, well, you are in a small group of people in my life that we've sat down and we've had, like, these talks. And it's like, I have to take a moment and reflect. And some of our talks I still think about to this day. And I never actually told you this until right now, but some of the shit that we've talked about, I still think about to this day, almost on a day-to-day basis. Do you know what conversation in particular?
Give me an example.
Dude, so we were on this bender. It was late as hell, and you were like, "What is the meaning?" Like, we were basically.
I think I know what you're going.
It was
at.
basically like what you were saying. Like, what is the meaning? Like, what is your purpose? Like, every human has a purpose, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or at least you should give yourself a purpose, because at the end of the day, life doesn't have any purpose unless you assign it a purpose, right? And you asked me, Max, what is your purpose? And I sat there and I was like, huh. And you got me thinking.
Do you remember how I said it though? I do.
I don't remember exactly how you said it, but I know my response.
I said, and I want to hear your response again, but I was like, if you had everything, and I don't know where I saw this, but someone said it before, and I was like, if you had everything, and you had everything that you wanted, like, what then? Like, what would you want? Like, if you say you had all the money in the world, what would you want to do? If you have all the fame and all the money in the world, like, what would you want to do? Like, what is the ultimate purpose besides winning? Like, you get there, like, then what? Like, what are we here for?
And
like,
you remember what I said?
You said creation.
I said creation for the betterment of.
And you
and
said
then blank.
Yeah.
Because, like, I feel like that is the niche, the genre, the category, the lane that I have found myself in naturally, organically. So, like, I make movies, right? I do that. I make short films. I do that. I do this podcast. I make vlogs. I do clips on Instagram. Like, I do all this stuff, this creating. And then it's like, I sit back and I'm like, why do I do this? It's like, why do I do this? And I came to that answer that night when we had this conversation. It was like, creation for the betterment of. Because, like you said, like the chasing, the learning, it makes you feel good. It's like, it just makes you feel good. Creating makes me feel good. It's my thing. So, like, when I hit publish on a podcast or a movie or a vlog or this or that, the third, a post on Instagram, even if I just post a picture, it's like, oh, yeah, I feel good about that. So that is where I think I have fallen into the lane of, and I hope that it helps other people. And I know that it has, because I've had people that have reached out to me, and they're like, wow, that message behind that movie, Max, that, like, really hit me hard. And it was my first short film I ever made. I had a small group of friends come view it, and it was about suicide prevention or whatever. And my one buddy comes up to me in tears at the end of it. He pulls me to the side in private, and he's crying on my shoulder, and he's like, dude, like, that movie is how I feel every day, but nobody knows it, just like the main character. Like, just
that's deep, bro.
Thank you for making that. And that moment was like a light bulb.
Bro, it makes everything.
My head.
It's literally like I said, remember I said it's like a feeling? You get that feeling is way better than someone saying, like, I really liked it. It's like, no, he felt it. He, like, it did something. You know what
Feeling
I mean?
it,
and
dude.
it's like, yeah, let's go.
Exactly. I don't want just people to just like it. I want you to feel it. It's like, if I did my job right, it's almost like a visceral feeling, right?
100%.
So that's what I mean. Creation for the betterment of. If it just makes you smile and day to day it makes you feel good, or if it makes you rethink your life choices, if it makes you like become a better person, like if it makes you self-analyze. And that's my hope for the podcast, and that's my hope for having you on right now.
I think the best way to get through to people is through, like, emotional experiences. Like, when you're creating film and you're trying to, like, a lot of people who are thick-headed and they think they understand everything, you get them caught up in something, and, like, the blindfolds over their eyes. They don't even realize they're in the life lesson, and then it just hits them. It's like, you know what I mean? It's a weird, yeah. I had something I was going to say after that, but I'm trying to remember. No, I was going to say. So with your music, you have to, I mean, with your movies, in the only way, when you were talking, I got this. So, like, you want to create for the betterment of, right? the only way that you can create better movies to a certain degree, I mean, obviously there's a little gray area, but to a certain extent, is with more funding, more people to create those visions you have in your head, because you need teams to create the sets, the scenarios. But even no matter how good your story is, you need that. What do I need? I don't need anything for anything that I'm working on as of late, besides literal day-to-day living stuff that I would gain from that money and that, but that fame and all that, it's like, it doesn't do anything. For you can create for the betterment of, and you can release that stuff, and they can see that metamorphosis, and you can grow, and that's because you need it to grow. I don't necessarily have to put out music for it to grow, but obviously you don't want to get caught up in your head making music that sounds like trash, you know what I mean? You make so much music, never show people, you're going to make some trash, you know what I mean? But if you listen to a lot of music, you bounce your ideas off of people, you pick a small few people to show some songs to, and you just get a gauge for where you're at with musically. Like, you really don't need anybody else besides yourself to know if you're getting better, because you'll feel it, you'll know it, you'll see it. And that, like I said, with my music, like, the time I saw the most growth when I was just trying to beat myself, like, it was so, like, and like I said, just like creation for the betterment of, I really don't, it's not that I don't have a rush. And it's like, the biggest thing is my family. I don't want to make it seem like I don't want to help my family get the money and the health and all that they need. And that's why I want this to work out. But even if that's the case, it's like, I don't, to a certain degree, rushing it would only put me at a detriment. And it's like, if I feel like the growth is coming, then who cares what people think? Because when it's time for me to show, no one can match me. I'll be like, it's like, for example, like AI is coming around. I need to be able to freestyle. Like, everybody can do like freestyling and they hop on stuff. Like, but there's something about,
you used to freestyle every day, remember?
I still freestyle every day. I can show you stuff on my iPad. So I freestyle every time I'm in my car for hours, dude.
Dude, that's like, I have a deep respect for that, because it's like, you're doing this grind, but like, you're doing it behind closed doors. A lot of people do the grind, but they have to put the video camera on every day to show people, hey, look at me, I'm grinding. And I understand that's the day and the age that we live in, and I feel like that's kind of where I'm at. Like, I feel like I have to post a lot, because I've done so much behind closed doors, but now it's time to show people, and that's why I'm posting. But like, you're still in that grind behind closed doors.
Another thing is, it's not about being in closed doors as much, even when you finish it. Like, a lot of people think, like, if you stay closed doors, you don't show the process, even when it's done. I mean, I'm not trying to say, like if a tree falls in the wood and no one hears it, no one will get it. Advertising is everything. But, like, when it's done, like, I hate when I do this. I lose my train of thought. What was I at?
Well, that's what I mean. You're, like, proving my point. You're so...
I do that all the time.
Your brain is so interesting, dude. Like, is that why you think that you have this... So, like, this is, like... I don't even know if this segue is about to be clean or not, but it's like, your brain, right, is so active, maybe like overly active, but maybe that is why you be having these crazy dreams.
Oh, and dream talk,
and you get visited at night, and like, I've never talked to somebody who's had as many lucid dreams as you. I've never, I've never experienced that in my own self either. So, like, dude, why and how? Well, how do you lucid dream so damn much?
I don't know how, but I've known how to stop it. And it sounds weird. Like, I know how to, like...
You're to the level where you have to actively stop them from happening?
So if you have a lucid dream too much, like, you don't really get rested. Like, it feels cool.
Really?
And, like, I'm not even gonna lie.
You wake up tired.
Yeah, well, we'll be honest. Most of the times when you're in lucid dreams, you're trying to get some women. You know what I mean? It's the truth. If I didn't say that, it'd be lying. And I think that's what keeps you in it, because you're looking for a girl, you go around, you're in these lucid dreams, man. You wake up, you're like, man, I really didn't sleep. I didn't really sleep at all. It's like...
Because you were constantly pursuing women?
Well, not all the time.
Subconscious?
No. Okay, so I got a bunch of stories of lucid dreaming. So I've tested beyond. So the first ever lucid dream I ever had, first ever one, and this is crazy because I was 7 years old.
Was it by mistake?
Mistake, by mistake, my man. I did not know but I knew what was happening. I knew it was a lucid dream. I knew I was at 7 years old, and I remember I wake up and I'm in a white room, just pure white, and I'm like, yo, wait a minute. I'm dreaming. And I don't know why I thought that. Like, I feel like any other kid would have been like, bro, I'm dead. Or like, but I was like, I don't know. I guess I just knew. Maybe I woke up in a dream and maybe that's what brought me to the white room. All I know is I knew I was dreaming and I went, wait, this is what people say. You can get powers. And I said, Mickey Mouse. And I literally pointed my hand and Mickey Mouse popped up. And I went like, swimming pool. And a swimming pool popped up. And the reason I got the swimming pool at 7 years old, and this is some weird stuff, because I wanted to see if I could breathe underwater. So when I spawned Mickey Mouse to see if it worked. And then I spawned the pool. And I remember thinking like, oh, I want to see if I could breathe underwater. And I spawned the pool. And I breathe underwater, and then it hits the fan, and I go, let me get a gun. And I get a gun, and I grab the gun out, and I remember vividly, like, me pointing the gun. Like, I didn't plan on using it. It was just, like, as a kid, it was just cool. It was like a gun. I was, like, pointing it up, and it was, like, Mickey, and he goes, oh no! and literally, I wake up, and I literally, like, it was the first ever lucid dream. I was like, yo, Mom, I almost shot Mickey Mouse. Like, I was, like,
first lucid dream, you were about to kill Mickey Mouse.
I don't think, from the bottom of my heart, it was, like, the same thing as, like when you're older, guns aren't the same as like a kid at 7 years old. Unless you've come from a gun family, they're like Call of Duty. You know what I mean? It's like they're guns
or
man.
Nerf guns.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can breathe underwater. I can spawn Mickey Mouse. Let me get a gun. And I was like, I put the gun out, and I was like,
7 years old. This was 7 years old.
7 years old, and I remember vividly Mickey Mouse.
Did you start mastering it after that?
Kind of. I literally remember Mickey Mouse going, oh no! I vividly, but he was like, it was so funny. I think I even woke up laughing. I was like, oh my god. But I'm getting a phone call. My bad. I'm sorry. I'm professional.
I can't believe at 7 years old you're having lucid dreams, and I still can't have them today.
But
that's what I mean. Your brain, dude.
I think I just realized like something's off. Like it's hard to.
Your brain, dude. There's something going on there. It's like you're able. Or you just got so much firing, dude. It's unique.
Thank you, bro.
So did you start to master it after that, or?
No. So I remember I would like watch YouTube videos, and I remember there was this guy on YouTube, and he would say like he would give you all these dream stories, and he would say like, what you have to do is like wake up in the middle of the night, or like as you're sleeping, tap your finger.
Dude, I've tried all this shit.
I guarantee
it didn't work.
I could get you a lucid dream. So the key to lucid dreaming.
Please tell us all right now. How do we do it? It's like once you know how to do it, it's just a matter of how you want to go about it. So let me just explain. You have to go to sleep when you're not that tired, but that can be induced by a certain thing. So like if you take melatonin is a sleep supplement. When it wears off, you're asleep. If you take melatonin a little bit before your bedtime, not a lot. If the thing with melatonin is the more you take, the less it works. So you take a little bit, you go to sleep. It'll knock you out. Now, the thing is you don't have to use melatonin. This is what, as an adult, if I wanted to cause a dream, it would work like that almost every time. You take the melatonin, you'll fall asleep. But, like, it kind of just, like, I don't know, just stay aware, but, like, don't try too hard to stay aware. Just understand that you're not tired. And I don't know, just for some reason, if your mind's on lucid dreaming, you just kind of wake up in the dream. Or that's what happened for me. But what I would usually do, and I think this is what causes a lot, is I would stay up late. So I would, like, wake up, stay up mad late, mess up my bedtime. It's probably when I was 7 too with WWE. And then like I would go to bed, like I don't know, like I would be so sleep deprived that I don't know. I don't think I was that sleep deprived either. I really don't know. Like it's like I know I always tend to lucid dream when I seem to be like dozing off when I'm not really tired in the head, but I was in the body, if that makes sense. So like if I was ever so tired on the couch where I was like, but I was doing a lot of stuff, I'm not really that tired, but I like lay down and for some reason you just get that accidental sleep. You ever have those weird fever dreams? Yeah, where you feel like you're falling kind of thing?
Yeah, because you weren't really that tired and you were sleeping because you were sick and all of a sudden.
But I always catch myself.
But I'm saying
that's
the thing. The fever dream comes from the fact that you're sleeping when you're not ready to sleep and your brain is active. So all of a sudden it like you wake up into it. But I remember, look, if you're desperate for a lucid dream, I have one that this was when I did this 2 years ago. So I don't think I ever really tried, like after those things didn't work when I was younger, I don't think I did it. Like it just happened. But
and then it continued to happen later on in your teens and now into your 20s.
Yeah, but I hate when I do that. What was I at? I don't know.
You were about to say this one. You told me if I'm desperate for a lucid dream, I
Yes.
got one.
Wait, what was it? Sorry, I'm not like an expert at lucid dreaming. It's like
You've got so many stories, dude, and you're always searching for women. You're always telling me about these stories about these lucid dream women.
no, I'm not searching for women. Yo,
literally said
run
that.
it back. Yo, you take that thought, throw it out the window. Hold up.
You said it, not me.
It's physical. Cut me some slack. I'm not looking for romantic interrelations in a lucid dream.
It's physical.
It's physical, bro.
So
do
do
you think
you
this
wake
is?
up with jizz in your pants, or
No, it's happened.
so it has?
It's happened, but no, not usually.
So you have wet dreams.
Sure, 100%.
So
What the fuck are you doing
So
to me, Max?
are you
What are you
like-
doing to me, Max?
are you like jerking it in your sleep, or is it
No,
just-
no.
it's- so your brain is making you have that orgasm because you thought about having sex.
Like, dude, I'm having sex, bro. The dream is sex, bro. I've had sex.
You've
It's-
had
it's
sex,
literally,
and it literally feels the same way.
it's the same. Like,
But you can envision what
Hold
you can
on.
make any woman in front of you right then and there.
now I got it.
And you can just
I got to
do it.
clear the fantasy out of the air with everyone hearing this, thinking lucid dreaming's all banging girls. Here's the thing: you got to control the thought. If you don't control the thought, and you think of something else, that girl, she.
She turns into the devil.
So let me give. This is one story. I was gonna tell. So I was
Yo.
banging this girl from the back. Not all the time with the sex. He's got me doing this. I'm sorry. This is Mom. I don't know why he did this to me. You gotta take those headphones off, bro. No. Either way. Oh my god, this hair. I gotta cover that up ASAP. No. I'm hitting it from the back, and she turns her head around and looks at me. Keep in mind, I'm hitting it from the back. No, how does she turn around? Look at me. She turns around, some poltergeist stuff, and she just looks at me.
Like
and
her
all this,
head does a
No, listen. Her head does a 360, and then her body followed. And just like just breasts appeared, her legs were facing the right direction, and then I was hitting it from the front. I was like, oh, hey. Yeah. But no, like I gotta say, it's not all
That
the glitz
sounds
and glamour
scary as
that you think
fuck.
it is, because like, for example,
Oh, you have it so hard, Nico. He's like, it's not all of that.
like, bro, I'm trying to think of a story that's not gonna get me fucking drawled on, but there's nothing else I gotta say. Like,
Just go for it, bro.
if you're like,
Just do it. Just say it.
let me ask you this: you ever getting top from a girl? She turned to Darth Vader.
Where is this?
Yeah,
What?
you ever getting top from a girl? You start thinking about Star Wars, and she turned to Darth Vader. You gotta go get off.
So
please.
you're
That's
ju-
the dark
you
side.
just thought of Star Wars
You gotta
and-
be like, no, no. And I'm talking masked up.
How
I'm
would that
talking-
work with the Vader helmet on and everything?
bro? It worked. It happened. It happened. And I was getting.
So you're just getting head from Darth Vader all of a
I'm
sudden.
getting top from a girl, and I was like, oh. Wow.
It's Darth Vader. It's Darth Vader. Anakin, what are you doing?
And I was like, well, it wasn't Anakin. It was Vadered up. It was Vadered up. And I was like, and I immediately trust me, I was like, what? This wasn't what I wanted. And I was like, this is not what
So
I
what? Your
envisioned.
brain drifted off to Star Wars?
But it happens for a whole bunch of stuff. I'm just saying, think about the
That's why
worst
I wouldn't
thing-
want to be in one.
Let me
dude.
get me. That's what I'm saying. Think about you're having something like the best girl ever, and this is why I stopped doing it as much. Like, and all of a sudden your brain just pops in something you don't want to fuck, something, whatever that is. You don't want to do that, and it pops up, and you're like, ew, or you'll be like, not even ew, will be like, or maybe it's like a like. An
It could be
ex or some
terrifying,
girl that you
dude.
like. Yeah, but I'm saying
I
the
would think about
faces,
some
like,
crazy
morph
horror movie I already
as
watched.
you're like doing it, and it's like it's weird, but like it doesn't happen as all like. Look, I've had some crazy dreams. I don't know, but like,
Take us through one. Take us through one. You've told me some crazy ones in the past. Then you have some like ET stories.
all right, I'll do the I'll do the Donald Trump one. This isn't a lucid dream, but it's good.
Donald Trump one.
The Donald Trump one's the best story I
It's
ever
not
had.
a lucid dream,
No, it's the best story ever.
It's just a
the best
dream?
dream ever. Best dream ever. It's unmatched, bro.
but you weren't
So-
lucid.
It was 2 years ago. Not even. Probably a year and a half ago. So I think I told you this story. So I'm in a dream and I hear that Andrew Tate, I think it was Andrew Tate, was
jeez.
in Philadelphia, and there was a huge like meetup, and everyone was down there meeting up. And I was driving in Philly already, and people were telling me because of the traffic, like I wasn't going to be able to get through. And I was like, "Oh no, Andrew Tate's messing with the traffic, man!" And all of a sudden, I get into an accident, and I didn't see how it happened. Like it wasn't my fault. Like it might have even been someone else got in an accident. It's a little blurry, but long story short, this is where it starts getting super coherent. I see a young girl, probably like 10 years old, laying on the ground, and she's got blood on her shirt, she's got snot on her shirt, and she's on the ground with paramedics surrounding her on their knees. And I walk up, and I remember dragging my car, moving it out of the way, because that's possible, just moving your car with your hand. But I moved my car with my hand out of the way, and I walked up, because I just, like I said, you think it's real.
You think that this is all real? Yeah.
Yeah, you think it's real at the time, yeah. And I went up to the girl, and I start cheering. Like, not cheering like in a good way. I was like, get up, girl. I was like, you just gotta you gotta push through it, get up. And I was like, come on. And she starts standing to her feet wobbling. I was like, there you go. I literally start crying. I was like, there you go. And she comes up and she gives me the biggest hug, and she get like blood all on my shirt. I remember I was like, oh my God, and she ran, she went off, and I was just like, literally like had tears in my eyes still, but I didn't wake up. Donald Trump pulls up in a limo, rolls the back window down, and he says, I saw what you did. He said, and he smiles and he goes, come with me. And I go, what? And he opens up the back door of the limo, and I go, oh, no way. So I sit down in the limo, and he's wearing his red tie, standing there, trumping out, being Trump. And I was like, oh. And he wasn't president at the time. So when was this? This was during Biden. And I thought he was president, even though he wasn't president, which is weird. Like, I remember being like, this was the president. And then I woke up and I was like, that wasn't the president. The president's Biden. Either way, but Trump, this was back, like I said, either way, I thought Trump was president at the time. And he looks at me and he goes, we're going to drop you. And I go, what? And as he says that, the front of the limo, remember I said I moved the car with my hand? There's stuff that just doesn't make sense that just happens. The limo just turned to a spaceship. I don't know how it happened, but I was in a white room, and it was a spaceship with a big window. And I remember he goes, and we just start launching up. And I see the earth getting smaller. I see myself go from land out of the earth. And I'm like, oh my God. And like I said, he said, I think he might have said, I'm going to drop you after this. So he looks at me and goes, we're going to drop you. I was like, what does that mean? So keep in mind, I'm in outer space facing the earth, and all of a sudden we just go, whoop. We don't fall. We turn facing the abyss of space. And I start falling, not the spaceship. Me, I'm free falling. I'm free falling through outer space, dude. And I see all the stars in the universe falling. Guys.
And this is visual?
Bro, words don't. No one will ever get that with VR. You won't get that. Whatever I saw was a deep into my mind, or it tapped into something. It was so insane. And I'm just falling through the space. And I remember being like, this is beautiful. And all of a sudden, everything starts turning a different color. It turns white again. Like, remember it's weird that I said this. It's like the Mickey Mouse room. Everything turned white. It hit the white room. And when I'm in the white room, I saw this geometry of triangles. And the triangles were like floating islands.
You're
that
not
were
on any kind of mushrooms?
No
nothing.
drugs, no nothing, man. And it was literally, I might have had a little melatonin that night, but I don't take melatonin that much.
You had a little bit of melatonin?
I might have had a melatonin, yeah. And melatonin's not a drug, it's a vitamin. And I remember I think I took a little bit of it.
So that shit really fucking opens your
it has to do something. I gave my pop-up, he had a crazy dream too. But either way, I'm seeing all these.
About a pops of melatonin.
Yeah, I mean, it's vitamin. It's the worst you could do. But I mean,
how you doing?
Hey, what you gonna do now? You're talking to the guy who fucks his dreams. Now, anyways, I'm looking at the triangles, and they're all in a row, and they go for infinity, like literally to infinity. And I'm like,
so Illuminati confirmed.
Well, I guess, but like they stacked. So like the triangles were all faced like this, but there was also another layer different, and space.
Are they three-dimensional triangles?
Yeah, sort of. They were like flat planes, like flat three-dimensional planes of gray triangles. And as I was falling, I kept falling through the white, and all of a sudden, when I hit I kept falling through these infinite triangles, and there was different layers, and they were symmetrical, and everything was like perfect. And I'm falling through the cracks of the triangle. Like, you know what I mean? Like if there was. You know what I mean? If there was triangle here, triangle here, triangle here, I was falling through the mist in between them. And I'm falling down, and I hit water. And when I hit the water, I remember being like, what the hell? And then the water stops. And like it was like Minecraft physics. Like, you know when you hit water to slow you down, but then you can keep falling? It was literally like I hit water, it slowed me down in a safe way, and then I kept falling. Like the layer of water stopped. Like it was almost like a thick chunk of water that when I hit the bottom, eventually there was just air underneath. So I hit the water and I fell through, and I'm falling through the air, and I start seeing the avatars from The Way of Water. I don't have dreams like this. This is not normal. I mean, I have crazy dreams.
You
but
have
this,
crazy
this was,
dreams,
I'm telling you,
dude.
this was
I'm telling
nothing.
you.
I never remember dreams this long. This was an experience, bro. And I'm looking and I see like the avatar creatures from The Way of Water. And I go, what? I was just saying that was my favorite movie before that. That's what I'm saying. It's weird. It's like, I was literally just saying that was my favorite movie earlier that day, telling people I loved it. And it's not my favorite movie anymore. I liked it a lot when it came out. But either way, I see a waterfall and I hear a voice like on some God stuff. I'm not saying it was God, but it was like if God talked to you, it's what you would imagine God would sound like a deep, ominous, echoey voice that just came into your head, and it said, "We can do anything." And then I looked at the waterfall and I went full speed into the waterfall, and the second the waterfall hit my face, I popped up out of my bed from my pillow. Like the pillow, like I literally, like when I hit the waterfall, it was like out of into the real world, and I jumped in my bed and I was like, I remembered all of it. And it was like, I don't have dreams where you can like remember the minute details of everything. It was weird, bro.
So like, you think you tapped into something there? You think you tapped into the
or something tapped into me? Someone was showing that like I don't think it has to be like aliens or something, but there's something out there that maybe could be like, we can play around out here. Like we can morph stuff around and do things and we can jump in when we want to. Like I feel like, I don't know.
So what do you think? That's the collective consciousness, and that's like a...
No, I think like, I don't know. It's not far to believe that there's just like ways to get in there somehow.
What is there?
Like, I don't know. Like if you're dreaming, I'm sure there's this.
That's what I think it is.
If we had 1,000 years of living on this planet, we don't kill ourselves, and we figure out how to tap into dreams, somebody might be able to tap into your dream or change your dream or change what happens, but they can't change you. So there's certain things that can happen because they're based off of what you do. But if you put them in a scenario where they can't do anything, I'm in a limo, I'm falling, I can't do anything. I can't change the dream with something I can do. I can't reach out and grab the triangle. I can't jump out of the plane. I'm already in space. There's certain things where it's like, if someone was to mess with your dream, they can't change you. They could change what you're seeing because you were you. You know what I mean? Just like,
so you're saying that somebody taps in, or you think that
I don't think it was Donald. I
in?
tell you right now, I don't think it was Donald Trump. I don't think that at all. I don't think it was anything like. I don't think it was aliens, and I don't think it was something.
What
do you say?
So you're saying it's some sort of
like?
You don't think it was something spiritual?
No, I think just people are fucking around with shit, and like people,
human beings.
Maybe, I don't know. I think somewhere out there, they figured out how to get in there, and I wouldn't be surprised if there was people beaming signals and like just doing weird things, and like stuff happens that people misinterpret as spiritual, and it's just people playing around with things they don't
that's
understand.
A movie, bro. You ever see Prince of Darkness?
No.
John Carpenter. Literally what you're saying was like kind of the plot. So there's like this sludge, right? And it's underground of this church, right? And it's basically Satan, right? Yeah. But it's like he manifests as like this chemical that has never been discovered on the periodic table. Anyway, they get a bunch of quantum scientists and kids and students from university, the top elite scientists, and then the students that they're teaching, and they move into this church for the weekend, and they're examining this sludge. But once they all get to that church, they all start to have dreams every night, or when they doze off and they take a nap. And they all have the same dream. Come to find out by the end of the movie, spoiler alert, it is somebody from the future that through quantum physics has found a way to beam. There's a name for it. It's a type of particle that can shoot right through, like at the speed of light, and it's an actual particle in quantum physics. Carpenter actually read quantum physics books to write this movie. So they said, I think it's a tachyon. I think it's a tachyon particle, it's called. They send a tachyon particle from the future through space and time, the dimension of space-time, and they beam it at somebody, And then whenever they dream this message. And it's
That's
basically what you're saying right now. Bro, I think that movie's so far ahead of its time. I think that what you're saying, I think there is some validity behind that we're going to be able to like beam messages to people, and that's like maybe a form of time travel.
I was thinking something while you were saying that. I think, like, do you remember the story? So I'm going to tell, they don't know the story. You remember the story about the thing, me finding that thing in my room?
Yeah, that was nuts.
So
I know where you're going.
So
with
this story that I said with the limo and the story where I had sex with the girl and her head turned or whatever, I literally think like lucid dreams that I remember like where I was doing crazy stuff is probably like 6, 7, not really 6, 7, and then it's like a good bit. But like, I mean, not a good bit, but like, I think like dream wise, I can remember a little bit more. But like, yeah, I really, when I tell these people these stories, I'm like, yeah, I could be schizophrenic. I could be someone who turns schizophrenic, or I already am, or I got a weird thing going on in my brain. I don't know. But I also think there's things that have happened to me that were very rare and very in particular in the way they happened that like, it's not far to believe that if there was ever a time that something happened, it's like, we're getting there. Like, I don't know. Like, look, let me tell you, this is the story that I tell people. So this would get the CIA on me and they'll kick my butt. Or just get people laugh at me. My buddy, he was like, when I told him the story, he was like, I don't know. I started getting roasted. I'm like, bro, I don't know. It's not, I didn't, you know what I mean? It happened. It doesn't mean that I believe it was an alien or I believe it was something. What I'm saying is something happened. And then coincidentally after that, I had 2 more weird experiences that like if you talked about them to someone, like the limo dream, it sounds like extraterrestrial confrontation. And what happened was I was in my room and I don't get sleep paralysis. You know how you guys get sleep paralysis? Might be important for why I lucid dream. I don't get sleep paralysis. I could snap out right away and I feel it. And my mom says we have this thing called like ESP or whatever, and we can like guess things by accident, and we don't know. I don't know how to control it, but things happen. Yeah, I don't know how. I might be saying it wrong.
No, I've heard of this.
But all I know is like I sensed something was behind me, and I was laying down, and I remember vividly going, I'm resting my eyes. And like I said, this could be hallucination.
The ability to gain information or exert influence through means beyond the 5 known senses. So basically,
it just comes from nowhere.
Psychic.
Yeah, but you don't. I can't control it.
I got a little bit of that too.
Yeah, sure, I'm sure everyone does. I think
everybody does.
Yeah,
too.
I think, but some people have it a little bit differently.
Because it's a matter of if you can tap into it.
Like, dude, everyone talks about technology that aliens could have. I think the problem is focusing on technology and not realizing that humans are still more advanced than half the technology
I think the real technology is human brains and consciousness.
Well, but the flesh, though, like I'm not trying to sound fucked up because I know the CIA might be doing it, but like the flesh itself is like, if you could figure out an organism, they evolve better than we evolve. Like we could try to make tech, but like I don't know, if you were trying to enhance someone's consciousness and tap into something, like I feel like you would have to like, I don't want to say God's creation, but I do at the same, like the creation of flesh and like the way the cells and everything works better than a lot of technology. If you figured out how to tap into that, you could probably create better stuff than tech through flesh. But that sounds messed up. I wouldn't.
It would be biology.
It would be a living organism, and then it becomes like a philosophical debate of like if you had an organism that could do all these things that AI can't. Is the organism happy? Is it right? Is creating
that what the whole
flesh?
Debate is with AI?
Yeah.
If we give it a body, like a flesh body, but it's created by man, isn't that the whole?
Yeah. No, it's not. It's like it's the same
like
thing.
The fear of
AI. Yeah.
So go on with this dream. That the CIA was coming after you.
No, CIA is not coming after. See, I guess
you said you had a few events back to back.
Look, me saying that makes it sound so much more like I'm trying to make this sound deeper, and it's It's just a funny story.
I remember the story.
Yeah, it's like
it was kind of like
it's weird.
And then we went out that night, and we were looking up at the sky, and we're thinking we're seeing shit.
And we were, but we don't know if that was satellites or whatever. We caught a few things. I remember pointing out.
It was weird.
Yeah, it was weird. But
it was weird, and you said that it was following you.
Well, I was not gonna lie.
Because you had it following you from Springfield to Jersey to Philly. Remember you said that?
I had 2 dreams where it didn't become the focus of my life at all, but it definitely affected the way I thought about the world. And I started like, I don't know. I
Yeah,
started
go
getting a
into
little
that dream.
paranoid. I started like looking up at the sky more. Started looking at like you know what I mean. When you're in your lucid dreams, you start wanting to talk to the people in your dreams, and well, I gotta say, you know what I mean, because you're just really confused on what's going on in your head. And like, I saw this. Basically, I was laying in bed and I had this ESP feeling of something behind me in my bed. And I remember I was resting my eyes vividly, and it was like I told myself I didn't want to go to sleep. I'm just going to rest my eyes. When I rested my eyes, it looked like I was sleeping. I was sitting there for so long, and I might have fell asleep. Who knows? But all I know is I felt something there, and I popped up, and I turned around on a like that thing that was behind me didn't touch me. There was no way I should have known it was there. Like literally, I was like there. And I jumped up and I just saw something clawed behind my bed with claws and a blue face clawing behind my bed, and it looked at me, and I was like, yo, like I've seen some bees in my room from a dream, but that was like, whoa, that freaked me out. Now here's where it gets a little nuts. So I'm looking at it.
So what was the face like?
I don't remember much. It was
blue.
It was blue. It didn't like.
Did it have eyes?
Yeah.
Black beady eyes, like what?
Probably. I don't want, like, you know how if you describe something when you don't remember it, you're just going to start making fiction instead of what you actually saw.
So there was an entity that you felt like a presence.
I felt something. It looked blue. I had nails. That's about all I remember. And the face was hard to describe, but I remember it was like I saw something. And then all I know is I literally was like, I jumped up and I grabbed a baseball bat because I saw it and it didn't go away. And this is like to give you a perspective, it's like 1, 2, still there, 3, 4, turn the light on, 5, 6, grab the bat, 8, 9, see it crawl away, 10, 11, and that was the end of it. That was a long hallucination, bro. And the way it like happened, I turned the light on and it was trying to run, and I grabbed the baseball bat and I was scared to hit it because I'm scared myself.
This is in the lucid dream?
No, this is in my bedroom.
In your bedroom.
This is in my bedroom.
You're awake.
I was awake.
But how would you know?
I've only had really 2 hallucinations. It was one where I saw a
How do
bee.
you know if you're in a dream or if you're not?
Because it does when you. I didn't
looking
have
at your
to,
reflection.
No, what I'm saying is when I saw a hallucination and it ended, I was like, well, clearly I'm not sleeping because I'm not going to bed. Like,
well, how do you know if I'm not just a dream right now?
Because I believe that you can kind of sense it, which is the same reason why you can have a lucid dream. Now, anyone could be fake. If you get to that meta conversation, you could freak yourself out. Anyone could be fake. Like, right. But what I'm saying is,
so what was this blue entity?
I saw a blue entity. Could be a sleep paralysis demon. Could have been hallucination. I saw it. I grabbed the bat, and it crawled into a shadow to escape. Now, after it crawled into a shadow to escape, and it was weird. It vividly chose the shadow. I saw it. It chose the shadow and climbed into it. And I went, whoa. And this dream that I said with Donald Trump happened after the fact. And it was weird after I was telling a lot of people this story. And I also had an instance in between that time, in between when I caught it, and that Donald Trump, I had a moment where I was laying in my room. Like I said, there's like 5 times. There's got to be like the third one. He stuck his hand through, opened his fingers, went like this, then closed his fingers and sucked back in the wall.
He just waved at you.
And it's always when I'm sleeping, but it's hallucinations or. Like let me just put it this way. I'm not crazy. I believe that it's just shit. Yeah, I think it's just I'm seeing some shit. Like I think I'm hallucinating. Maybe when I'm an old man, I die from schizophrenia. Like I think there's something going on there that maybe when I'm older, I won't be able to control anymore. And maybe I'm just weird shit when I go to sleep. But all I know is it was really weird and like. Yeah, and then I had those weird dreams where they said we could do anything, and it's just like it was definitely like really creepy. And here's one. So let me give you a little more context too. During this time, remember when I said I was looking at the sky a lot? Me and my boy Liam were sitting. I don't know if I should have said his name. Well, I guess it don't matter. It's just, I'm not saying his last name. Don't matter. Either way, me and my boy, we were sitting in my backyard, or we haven't talked in a little bit, but either way. We were tripping off some shrooms in my backyard, and we're having some deep talks, and we're just like talking about some crazy stuff. We don't trip often, just whatever, you know what I mean? And he literally looks up at the sky, and we start looking for stars to move. And because we were tripping, we decided to stay out back and like really check it out. You know what I mean? Like we didn't mind looking at stuff because it was like, you know what I mean? We're just having fun. We're tripping anyway. But it wasn't like one of those crazy trips where we were like we were just talking and getting deep and looking up. If anyone who's taking it understands what I'm saying. And we looked up, and I saw the star twitch. And I said, and this was hours that star has been sitting there, man. And it was sitting right there. And like I said, if it was a satellite or a drone, I don't know. But like it was sitting way above my house looking like a star. I got to figure out what this is because it freaked us out. We were like, I think it was probably
So
just
the star
some
is,
weather
like,
thing. It was probably
twitching
something with the weather.
back and forth.
Well, it gets weird. So we see it sitting there. And then I said I saw a twitch. So we start staring at it for a while. Like we continue our deep conversation, but now we have this star that I'm convinced can twitch. So we start talking about life and shit, and I see it twitch again. I go, you know, the Leonardo gif. I'm like, look at that. Almost like, and he looks up and he goes, I don't see anything. And then we saw it twitch again. And when the second he saw it twitch too, I knew it was game because I thought I was tripping. I was like, maybe I'm tripping. When he saw it too, I was like, maybe he's tripping too.
Well, you're both tripping, I
thought. Exactly. No, listen, this is what, exactly. We could have both been tripping. Now, it moves. It's been hours, man. We already saw it sitting there for an hour. We saw it twitch. We saw it for like an hour. And then it just started moving. Like, quick. I recorded it. I showed you it. I recorded it.
It was a weird video.
It was a weird video. It defied the laws of physics, and the thing went around. It could have been a drone. And it could have been a drone. It could have been someone creeping around. It could have been a weather drone. But I think it saw us.
For the battery of that drone to be up there that long,
yeah,
it would be unrealistic.
Exactly. Freaked me out, man. I was like, whoa.
So what's the connection there? And then you think there's a connection between that and the dreams that you're having?
Well, here's the thing. When I saw it and I recorded it, I wasn't sure if it was a UFO. All I know is that, like, I wouldn't be surprised if I saw something that I wasn't supposed to. And I keep having lucid dreams and I keep tapping into things that are like weird that they're not scared of me, bro. Or if it is if it's just a hallucination, like you're like nothing. It's not that deep. I think if it was a UFO or an alien, they ain't worried about you, bro. It's just like, I don't know. I just keep tabs on things. You know what I mean? Like, just like you want to keep tabs on like anyone. Like, I don't know. Maybe if you see someone, I think if you were doing something, I think I do a lot of things, and I think I'm not. I swear it's so egotistical to say, but I do a lot of things secretly, and like not in a bad way. Like hard work, and I know there's a lot of stuff that like I do to push my brain that like it's hard to get into, but like I don't know. I feel like they just like they could tell, and like So I believe aliens are out there, but I believe I bounce between either they're there and they're just keeping tabs and they don't care that much, or they're not there at all and I'm hallucinating, and it's just a bounce between those. But even then, it's like you can't let it fuck with your head, or you're gonna have, you know what I mean? I mean, what can you do if it's a hallucination, whatever? If it's not, you can't go around talking about it for years and freaking yourself out because it's just not that deep. Or you know what I mean? It could, especially if it can be proven as a hallucination, it's like whatever, bro.
Well, you brought up you bring up a good topic because it's like, if there are ETs, are they actually ETs, right? So I don't know if your beer spill over.
Yeah, I slapped it down too hard. I got it. We're good.
So, I don't know if you've been following the whistleblower case with David Grush, and they're speaking up against. I don't know. There's like pilots in the military that have been speaking out with UAPs and all sorts of unidentified anomalies, aerial phenomena. Unidentified aerial phenomena is the new name for a UFO.
Basically, shit we don't know.
Right.
But,
so, on record in the court of law, this whistleblower, right? He was like the head of Arrow, which is like this top, like space. Organization that the United States of America runs, right? And he, under oath in the court of law, he wouldn't say that these UAPs, these unidentified things, he would not say that they were ETs. He couldn't say, he's like, I can't say that they're ETs. I won't say that. So he implied, and I think he might have even said it, that they are of Earth origin.
I think, you know where I think they're going, and I think this is a whole part of like this could either be a psyop or not. I think everyone that I see from the Pentagon keeps saying they come from the ocean, and I keep seeing that. And the ocean we can't explore. Now, I was saying something where like, look, you can have a lot of inventions and you can be really smart, but you can't change the elements on the periodic table. If you were to make a planet that had one element missing, that no matter what you could never create, you couldn't make a synthetic version of it, and it was thicker enough to survive the density of water. You know what I mean? Like, if they figured out what an element was, an alien or some creature, you know what I mean? They could theoretically live on any planet with a body of water that they can't reach using the technology of that element to get down there, because realistically there's no invention or idea that changes physics, and I think they know that. And like, you can get super smart, but the only way you can get smarter is you find something out about physics that they didn't know about. And it's like, if they
like
know
the
the
fifth
laws,
dimension,
yeah. And what I'm saying, that, well, I wouldn't be
because
surprised
we live
if they
in
do that.
4 dimensions.
What I'm saying is, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, yeah, I mean, if there was some type of element that, like I said, that we were deprived of, they scanned the whole planet, made sure we didn't have it. What the hell are we going to do or invent or do anything to get to that level of water? And if, just say...
So are you saying you think that they're ETs? They come from somewhere else? Or are you saying that you think that they are of Earth?
I think ET is, like, really limiting what we know about the world. We know there's so many planets. We know there's so many generations of things going on. Now, whether we have life on those things, who knows? But would you ever see one of those videos where they zoom out and you see the whole scale of everything? Dude, you're going to tell me it's not possible that there's other creatures or when people say aliens, what if they just look like humans? What if this is not that far off from what it fucking comes off as? And maybe that's why some people look weird in the news, or like, anything's possible. I don't think like calling things aliens is like fair, because it could be someone with just a different, like, they could have just came from like I don't know. It's definitely weird. Like, I don't.
Okay, well then, okay, yeah. I kind of get your drift, right?
Yeah.
So it's like there's all these planets, all these universes in the cosmos, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But what if we think local? Right? Are you following?
That's what
so
I
it's
said,
like
the water.
Earth.
Yeah.
No. There is water on this Earth, right? But I'm talking about water on this Earth, but not this Earth. You get what I'm saying? So it's like.
What do you mean? Like, if
so I'm saying multiple realities, parallel universes.
Okay.
I think there's something there, right? Because you said, like, you know, they don't have to be. There's all this life. There could be different planets. Okay, but what if there's multiple Earths? Do you ever think about that? Like the butterfly effect. Do you subscribe to that? It's like if you step on like a butterfly and that butterfly dies, you're changing like everything, and the Earth could end because you killed the one butterfly. It's like this one thing sets off a chain of events, and then there's all this that could happen from it, right?
Yeah.
And that's literally proven in quantum physics. And I've countlessly read books and listen to podcasts about quantum mechanics, and it's like every outcome or possibility that there is through quantum physics, there is and will be, you know?
Yeah.
So like that almost proves multiple realities. A multiverse is a plausible thing.
It's definitely plausible. That
means there's multiple versions of us.
Yeah.
There could be, you know, these oceans.
Well, there's no such thing as a different version
could be like
of us,
the
because
portal.
it just ain't us. It'd be something else. But
Well, that's an interesting thought, because then it gets into the whole like, what is us?
Well, yeah. Well, I always
what is
people always say, when they say, like, I always say this to people when I find them and they're like, yo, bro, I'm like, I just like struggling to find meaning because I don't believe in God. And like, I look at the universe, and it's like, when you really get down to it, we're so small, we're so insignificant that like, ultimately, what does it matter what we do? We're just cosmic dust, bro. We're just no. Your universe is what matters to you. You are perceiving everything. The universe is coming from you. What you find as meaning is your universe. You don't look to the universe for that philosophy. You look to yourself. And if you have to use God to find how to find good things to do with yourself, but like, it's you. Like, yeah. How did this happen?
No, because what you're saying is like actually profound, and I think that's like I think that's like where I fall now in my belief system, right? So like now we've fallen into religion. So it's like,
yeah.
So it's like you say this whole thing about like the universe comes from you, right? Comes from us, comes from I.
Yeah.
And I totally believe that. Like, so like I think that, and I kind of touched on this earlier when I asked you about like the dreams and where is all this shit coming from with your brain, right? So I think that there is like this pure consciousness, right? And I think that's what the Christians and the Catholics, they call heaven, right? I think that heaven is pure consciousness, right? And it's like an ocean. Think of it like an ocean, right? And then the ocean branches off into rivers, and the rivers into lakes, and the lakes into streams, and the streams into creeks, and then into, sewers and all sorts of arteries, right? So, like, heaven is pure consciousness. That is the ocean. That is the source of all of the water. That is the source. And then the ocean runs into rivers. The rivers are like us, right?
Yeah.
I think we come from the source, from God. And then we come into the picture, and it's like rivers. And then we make kids, and then that's like the streams, and then they make kids, and that's like the lakes. And it's this chain of events.
It's a weird, interesting way of looking at it.
But that's what I've come to the agreement that it is, right? And I think that all religions are the same thing, and they're all plausible ways and belief systems and practices to get us to the same destination. Heaven, that pure consciousness, that ocean. Because I think it's almost... I think it's pretty sickening that some religions and the Bible kind of says, like, if you don't believe in Jesus Christ and devote yourself to Jesus Christ, that you're going to burn in hell. It's like, yeah, but what about, like, my friend who is Hindu, right?
Yeah.
Shri. My good friend Shri. Like, I find it hard to believe that he's going to burn in hell because he doesn't devout himself to Jesus Christ. He's a good dude, doesn't do nothing wrong. Like, he abides by the 10 Commandments, like, all of the things that the Bible says, like, he abides by, right? He just doesn't believe in Jesus Christ. That's not his creed. That's not his choice of belief. That's not his family's way, right?
Yeah.
But does that separate him from that pure consciousness, that ocean? He's still conscious. He still has fundamentals and beliefs of right and of wrong, and he does right by his neighbor, right?
Well, let me ask you. So we think about heaven, and you think about it as a destination for yourself, and it's like a place that you go when it's all done, and that's like a destiny. What if it's not a destination? It's the breath itself. So, like, it's like, let me put it this way: like, if you were God and you, sorry, that's a bad way to start it.
No, it's not, because I think that at the end of the day, I think that's what I'm talking about, dude.
What
we
I'm
are
saying,
all God. It comes from us.
What I'm yes and look. What I'm saying, yes and no. What I'm saying is, I think when I try to look at God, I think there's a lot of people that don't have the opportunity to have Christian beliefs. They don't have, or if things in their situation make things a lot more complicated for that route. But I think when you really get down to what God is and what we're here for, I think it's not. Look, I don't know, because I'm just human, man, but I feel like it's like there's no correct way to do it, because I feel like he's just in it for this. Like, everybody thinks there's an end goal. If God knows everything, what if life is just here because he wants to have it here? What if the meaning of life is life itself? Like, what if there is no destination? What if he just wants to exist, and existing can only happen through life? And when life gets too big for its britches and it crumbles itself apart from the inside out, we do it. Because at the end of the day, he just wants to keep existing. And it doesn't mean that he's in it for existence. It's like what I'm saying is, like, it's not that far off to believe that God already knows everything. And the reason we're here is just because it's better to have us here
an experience.
It's better to have us here than have us not here. Because it's something. And something is always better than nothing. And that's the ultimate philosophy of everything.
Yeah, but I also think that nothing is everything.
Well,
that's like a catch-22.
All I'm saying is, without anything, there's no meaning. Without meaning, life loses that spark. And I think you need something for life to have purpose. If God had this ultimate wisdom and ultimate everything, he's here because he's needed in order for the system to run. We call it he, we call it Allah, we call it God, we call it whatever. But all we know is that there's something out there that has to exist, and we don't know why. But I think everyone here, even atheists, can say there's some weird moments in your life where you could say maybe that was God, maybe that wasn't. Maybe a lot of things went bad in my life, but that one thing kind of made it seem like he was there. And it's like, I think it's because he's not always there. I think it's like life is meant to be yours, and there's certain times when he can interfere, but it's like it defeats the whole purpose if you're interfering all the time, because it's not life then. It's not this whole creation. It's a controlled environment. The sporadic nature of life is what makes it life and gives it something. And maybe he doesn't think he's going to figure anything out. Maybe he does. I don't know God, but I'm saying, like, I think if you had all that power, maybe it's not as deep as the end goal for us.
You refer to him as him, and I think that's because of your background, but like...
It could be anything,
I think it's just... do you think that God is pure consciousness?
No.
No.
No, I think pure consciousness is...
You think that's a separate thing?
What I think is everything is connected in its own weird way, but to say that I am you would be weird. It would be the same thing to say...
I think it's the truth, though.
Like, I think everyone...
I think you are me and I am you because we are from the same thing, right? Scientists want to call it stardust or the particles or the atoms or the molecules that interact.
But yeah, but not in my universe. Remember what I was saying? This is like in the grand scheme of things, we're in the same thing together. We're one, but it's our universe. In my universe, we're not the same, and that's where it ends because it's your reality comes from you. What you perceive it as is the end all be all. Even if you're wrong, what you perceive is what you will live and is who you are. And
it's real to you is what you're saying, right?
What do you mean? Like,
that's kind of what you're saying. It's like you if I'm following correctly, you're saying it's like everybody has their own set of beliefs and they are real to that person and that is their reality. That is life to them. And life to me is different from life from you, and that's your reality, and this is my reality because it's through my eyes and my perception, and perception is reality.
Yes, and light will always be better than dark because it just is. Like, good is just, you don't have, I mean, we could get all deep on why good is better, but the truth is having good in the world.
I don't think good is actually a good term. I think light is a better term.
Light.
Because good is like a shady gray area.
Light is always needed in the world, and you need good people. But when people
we are light.
When people look at what to do with their life, I feel like they get so caught up in looking at the ways to live it instead of understanding it's coming from you, and what you find as important is only important to you. If what's important to you is what everyone else is saying is important to you, but you don't really believe it. Being true to yourself is the key to everything, and it's the only way to not quit, because the second you start living for other things, it catches up to you. And unless you can metamorphosize that into coming from you, you know what I mean? If these child actors who have everything handed to them have to start creating life from them, you know what I mean? Instead of people pointing at them like a puppet and they got to start creating it themselves, it becomes different. And that's what makes them so crazy, because you think life is just pointed at you instead of coming from you. And there's correct ways to live it, when the truth is the only correct way is being good. And being good is something you learn your entire life. And I think if you don't spend time learning what good is, you'll never find what it is.
I think we've raised some pretty good points here.
Yes, we did.
Dude, so you said something about mushrooms, and that's when you took those mushrooms, that's when you were seeing the... Did you call it a star?
It was like I think the best way I could describe it was like a star that was shining above the sky that just started acting abnormal.
So do you think that mushrooms is like a gateway or like a portal that was put on this earth, and there's a reason that it was put on this earth, and that's why the native tribes used to, ayahuasca and the mushrooms?
I'm so glad you said that. I should have said this earlier. I think mushrooms, they manipulate someone into being malleable, and sometimes being malleable is good because it lets the thoughts ride, but sometimes they change up. But the thing is about mushrooms is it's hard to believe someone on them. So if you were to see something that was spiritual, no one can prove that it was mushrooms or a real spiritual. So if you were a spiritual creature, who would you focus on? The people on mushrooms. Because even if they saw something, then you would never be able to prove that it wasn't the mushrooms that caused it. So
but maybe it was the mushrooms that caused it, but the mushrooms allow you to see what the regular human can't see.
I don't really see anything when I'm on mushrooms. What I've noticed is...
what was the largest dose you took?
I've taken
good, big...
Probably 5.
You never got geometry?
So what would end up happening? Yeah, I would look up and I would see the ceilings, tiles change.
Did you get the geometry? Or?
When you say geometry, you're talking about
like the shapes and just flowing colors.
Everyone talks about it. I feel like I can kind of get the gist of like I feel like.
So you didn't get to that level. You didn't have like a breakthrough dosage or no? Or what?
Look, to say I didn't break through would not be giving credit to all the times I crapped my pants on it. Like, I feel like, yeah, maybe I didn't see geometry, but like, bro, I was seeing something. And like, but the thing is like, it was never like, here's the best way to put it. It's like a dream that starts to spread into real life, and every thought that you have could become manifest by accident. So like if you're in all mushrooms, all your feelings are amplified. You could sense the vibe of everything, and you start sensing everything. And like if someone gives you an idea, like you think about it, and sometimes your brain, every thought and every word becomes a stream that wants to continue. And because of that, sometimes you get crossed in the streams. You have so many thoughts going on, and then paranoid, freaking out, and that's what happens. Because
really? That's when you get paranoid.
It's too many thoughts that
too
you
much
can't
input.
control. But the thing is if you're tripping on mushrooms right now, like, or not even if you're tripping right now, the thing is you are. This is what saved me from. I feel like I could. You gotta be careful. What I'm saying is, you are what the body does, no matter what. So, whenever you try to revert to like if you feel like you're tripping and you're like, oh my God, I'm gonna become a teacup, and I'm gonna become a teacup for the rest of your life. That was the story I heard in elementary school. People would be like, you're going to be... You can just slowly snap out of it by remembering what the body has done. Because if you're nuts, history isn't. Your memory isn't. Even if you're currently going through it, a good way to tie yourself back down when you're having a mushroom trip is remembering who you are, what your body has done. And then when it wears off, you're good. But like... It's just like when you're going through that, it's like all these ideas are coming in, and it's not that you listen to all of them. It's just that you can't stop their flow. And like for some reason, like
you
like
can't
weird.
Stop the flow of
ideas
and thoughts.
To say you can't control it, you can control it, and that's why people can triple and like and be
what
fine.
If you
but like
meditated on mushrooms, right? Because
exactly.
meditation is kind of controlling the thought stream.
You're segueing your like if you imagined, like, this is a funny example, but this is a good point. If you imagined Homer Simpson, just say you were imagining Homer Simpson nonstop eating a donut or something, and you were tripping on mushrooms, I guarantee you that like eventually you might hear Homer's voice in the distance or like some weird thing. That stuff doesn't happen. But what I'm saying is when you're so malleable in that type of state, it's like if you want to trip hard, sometimes you just have to let your imagination go because it's so like, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I feel like mushrooms are like, they're not all that, bro. I mean, like, they're not bad, really. But like, they don't, let's put it this way. You need to do them at least once. I don't care like who you are. If you don't do it at least once, you'll never understand what it is to see it from that perspective. It's not like as long as you do, if you've done a safe dose, if you do a safe dose and you just see it one time, you don't need to do it again. It's not addictive. I don't do it. Like, it's like, if you're going to do it, you better do it right. Go for a good time. Like to like really try to explore what it's like.
I feel like I would freak.
I looked at paintings and stuff. It was awesome.
Freak, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know. But that's just because I got paranoid off of weed.
I think the Homer Simpson thing was a bad example. I guess what I should say is, like, if you were thinking about, like, something in the back of your mind, it could sometimes just dwell on you. But it's not, like, dwelling on it as much as, like, your brain just keeps working it and working it and work. The thing is, that could be me. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's me or just other people get that. Maybe it's just my brain feeling weird when I'm on mushrooms. I feel like I'm constantly realizing that, like, I just keep working it. Like, I'll work an idea. Like, I'll be like, I wonder what cameras do. Just working it. Work cameras. Just fucking just working it. Everything that I see just starts getting
how
like,
you are sober.
I don't know.
Obviously that's why it's probably amplified when you're on shrooms.
Well, I had, like, for example, like, I'll be, like, looking at the doorknob, and, like, I have a paranoid moment. I was like, the doorknob looking at me? You know what I mean? Like, if it was a doorknob looking at me, and you, like, we look away from it, you're like, the doorknob's fucking looking at me. And then but then it goes away after, like, because you're tripping, you know what I mean? Like, there's weird shit where it's, like, I don't see how, like, look, there's benefits to it, but, like, you're just basically going nuts for, like, fucking 3 hours. And if you see something, then God bless you. But, like, you're basically just, like, you're going on a journey inside of your mind, and you're figuring out how all the mechanisms work because you're losing them. Like, you're losing mechanisms, you're gaining things that were not as strong before, senses are stronger, and it just throws... So
does that make you look at the world different?
Yeah, because it throws your whole equilibrium all out of whack. The way you think of how your words go, and it just throws you all out of whack. And then when you snap out of it and you slowly come back to yourself, you're like, whoa... that was like I just fucking lost myself and came back, and I got to relearn how it was to be me. You know what I mean?
I don't know. Some people might need that.
But that's what I'm saying. If you're going through some shit, it'll fucking dismantle you, but it'll put you back together no matter what. And anyone who tells you otherwise, it's like, I've never seen it happen. I've seen people go nuts when they were on it, but I've never seen it not wear off. I've always seen it wear off. If you don't do a crazy amount, it's always going to wear off. And it's like, that's the biggest fear. Everyone's like, it's not going to work.
Dude,
Bro,
that's like what
it's
ayahuasca
fine. It's
is,
just,
isn't
yeah.
Ayahuasca trip is like, it destroys you. It makes you feel like you died. And then you come back.
Yeah, and that's why I'm
From
like,
what I've heard,
I feel like that, even that, I'm like, it's the same thing as playing GTA 6, bro. I just want to do it for fun. Like, I'm not even joking. I don't think I would gain much from ayahuasca,
Really?
from all these DMT things.
you're not
I
very
think,
spiritual.
no, I am spiritual. I've just seen enough, man. Dude, I tell you my dreams. I see stuff that makes me feel like it blows all of their trip stories out of the water, and I was not tripping. And it's like, I don't know. I just think like, I take the shrooms and I take the fucking LSD. You know, I didn't really trip that much, man. I did.
You did. You did a small dose or what?
Yeah, I did.
LSD?
No, I did a big dose.
A big dose of LSD.
Yeah, I did it once. Twice.
And then what was that trip?
Twice. The first time I did like 3 and it didn't really work, and then the second time I did 4, and you really shouldn't do that. Yeah, and I did 4. I mean, don't get me wrong. I felt it the first time, but it wasn't. I didn't see anything. I didn't really feel anything, and then.
Did it feel like what? You were high? Like,
I mean, bro, it just felt like weird. Like, I don't know. Like, it wasn't like bad. It was just like, it got you, like I said, it throws your equilibrium out of whack. And for sometimes that's good because you'll be sensing things you didn't pick up on and noticing things about the way your brain ticks that you never thought of before. And sometimes it could throw you off. You're like, do I always do that? Is that always how my brain works? And you're like, oh, is that going to shut off? And you like, but then you snap out of that paranoia and you go, yo, you're learning yourself. And sometimes that fear of being out of control is the truth of what everyone's going through. We just disguise it. And sometimes what you're feeling in that one rapid moment is something that you've been feeling spread out over a year, and things that your brain has been trying to work out slowly is having to work out all at once because you're so out of whack that you're like, I have to find myself back to Nico. And you go back to yourself and you're like, whoa, like, regardless of what I saw, regardless of what happened, regardless of what you created on the mushrooms, it was the actual journey of coming out and coming in that really just like opens your mind to how everything works a little bit. And the thoughts in your brain, you feel like you realize everyone's crazy. Everyone's crazy in their own way. And their brain is so nuts. But the art of being a human is figuring out how to control it. And when you control it really well, that's when you start hitting greatness and things that people have never seen before. But those thoughts in your head, it's like...
What do you mean when you start to control it? Is that like manifestation?
No. What I'm saying...
That's where I go. That's where my brain went when you said that.
Yeah, it could be manifestation. What do you mean by manifest? Like...
But, dude, I do some freaky shit.
Like you think...
Like I think shit, right? I meditate on it, and then I write about it. Because there's something about the power of having thought, sending it down through your arm and through your hand and writing it on paper. And it almost brings it to life, dude. We could bring Alexandria in this room right now. The night before she came, before we ever hung out or anything like that, I wrote her name down on a piece of paper and I said, I would like to hang out with Alexandria Amos. Because previously we had only talked in passing at my cousin's house and their friends, and then I was like, I want to talk to Alexandria Amos. Maybe she'll come to the Poconos because me and my family are in the Poconos, and she was invited, but she just didn't show up. And it was the last day of the trip. I was like, I want Alexandria to show up at this trip. I'd like to get to know her. I think maybe there's something there. I wrote that down, and she texted my cousin the next morning after I slept, and I put the writing, folded it up, put it under my pillow, and I slept on that pillow. Woke up. Cousin text, Max, Alexandria's coming. Bing, bam, boom. I live with her now.
I think, but that's different than what other people do with manifest. When you said that, I like that. The way you did it is the way you should do it. When other people go like, they write themselves a check for $1 million. I don't know. I think that's so corny. Like, I think it's not doing the same thing. What you're doing is you're manifesting importance to the universe by you doing that and falling asleep. Remember what I said, like, you're what the body has done.
Exactly.
When you wake up and you're like, what has the body done? Oh yeah, remember I slept on that pillow with the girl's name on it. Like, and it all plays into everything. And like I said, the body thing is huge because it like saved me from like when I felt like I was like, I don't want to say losing my marbles, but just felt like so like out of it with certain things I would just realize that like you revert to who you are with what you've done. And if you ever feel lost on who you are, that's why I always feel so grounded, even when people look at me, because I can hear my music and it grounds me. I'm like, this is what I have done. And then when everyone else is having those moments where they're chaotic and like, I don't know if I have value, I don't know. And then they have nothing to fall back on to give them that reassurance. It like throws them off like, oh my God. But me, I'm like, I could have a really bad day. And I might even like be like depressed as shit. Like, I don't want to be here anymore. And then I go, oh yeah, I remember I made music. And I listen to it. I'm like, oh yeah, like I got it. And like, and it literally like a weight. Like you're just like, I don't know. It's just hard to like. When you, I'm just finding joy. I forget where I was going. I hate. When
what happened with the second trip?
Oh my God.
The second LSD trips where you were about to try and tell us about. The second LSD trip, did that take you?
Well, that was a mistake. That one I did 4, and the girl told me after I did it. So I was buttering cream cheese in my kitchen, and I
were buttering cream cheese in your kitchen. Go on.
I was cream
Sounds
cheese.
Like a good pickup line or a good joke. Start to a joke.
So I was.
You're buttering the cream cheese.
I'm buttering cream cheese, and I start going, oh my gosh.
You mean you're buttering a bagel or something? You don't butter cream cheese.
I'm buttering the bagel with the cream cheese. All right. And I take the cream cheese out and I start spreading it and I look at it and I'm like, it was so gross, bro. I loved cream cheese and I was just looking. I was
now
like,
what? Now you're tripping on LSD?
And now I'm like, this looks so gross. I gotta go back to my bedroom and I call the girl who gave them to me and I'm like just calling the geeker. Like I was FaceTiming or something. I was like, yo, what the heck? I'm spreading this cream cheese on my thing and it's freaking me out. I was like, I did 4. And she's like, you did 4? She said it like that. I start getting nervous. What do you mean I did 4? Yeah.
So she freaked you out.
And because she goes, you did 4? She goes, I only did 2. And I go, what do you mean you only did 2? You told me you did 4. No, I said, you told me you did 5. So I did 4 to take 1 less than you. What do you mean you didn't take? And she said, I only did 2. They're double dipped. Bro. Nothing happened. I tripped balls, and there's no doubt about it. I don't want anyone to say it was fake LSD, bad LSD. I tripped balls. Things turned to clay. It was weird.
Things turned to clay.
But it for like a second. And
what do you mean by that?
But what all I can say is that like the worst thing was the anxiety in my head.
Really?
Nothing happened.
Panic attack?
Yeah.
You had a panic attack?
Yeah, but I get panic attacks a lot, bro. I get like.
I feel that.
Yeah,
It happens.
Yeah, get like so. You know what I mean? You get all
It's like
self-conscious.
the worst, dude. It's like
I get the
can't
shakes.
Breathe.
I
feel
hate
like
that.
I can't breathe.
My thing is everyone. I wish I was one of those people who could get like in an uncomfortable situation and not shake because I feel like I would look way more confident. But there's something about when your brain.
I've never seen you shake that bad.
Dude,
like a leaf, dude?
That's my biggest problem. No, not like that, but I lock it down. Like literally, like I'll tense my legs, I'll scrunch up. I mean, you won't notice
That's the
anything.
worst feeling.
It sucks because you feel like you're trying to talk and you got that little shake in your voice because you're trying to stop the shake. Yeah, I mean, you start talking a little bit faster, a little more high pitched.
I just feel like I can't breathe, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know how to beat it. I think like my thing is like it's just like I don't go out enough like other people do. Like I did back when I was younger. And like I said, I felt like I was top of the world in high school. And I fucking came out of high school just not like I just didn't talk to anyone really. I didn't go anywhere. I stuck with the same kind of boys. And when they did their own thing and started drifting off, I never expanded to try to talk to any of the people. I just talked to my boys less. And I just had family. I had Mike, I had Christian, I have you. And I just don't really like, but it's not that I don't want to go out. I'm just so like, I know that the only way that I'm really going to get my mojo back to where I felt like I was at before is to start going out more, but I just don't want to. And and that's the problem. It's like, it looks so, it's so,
I don't like going out.
Like yeah, I don't like going out, but I know the only way to get that anxiety off my back is to start going out more. But the only way to You know what I mean? The only way to beat the anxiety is to start doing something you don't enjoy doing.
But the LSD. So then, did you not enjoy doing the LSD? Is that why
No.
it induced an anxiety, or just because you thought
No, I did
something
it-
bad was gonna happen?
I did it twice and it didn't. I think you get a phone call from mom. I think you're good though. But yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. I just got like, I don't know. I don't think
It wasn't shit. Basically.
it wasn't. I'm trying to find a good way to put it, and I can't, man. It's just, it really was lackluster. It just,
Really?
it felt like.
What was your
it
intent
felt-
on taking it? Were you trying to trip balls and see shit and break through?
Dude, I was trying to spawn Mickey Mouse again. I was trying to do all that. I was like, dude, everyone said, oh,
Dude, so
Yeah.
I talked to my therapist about this shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my therapist goes on to tell me about all these LSD trips and shit that he's had, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my therapist is like, he's pretty spiritual, and I probably shouldn't be airing his shit, but I didn't give his name, so it's cool. So he was telling me about how he used to take the mushrooms when he was like our age, and how he used to do LSD. He started messing around with DMT, and dude, he got the Jester.
that's what Joe Rogan saw.
He got the Jester, one time. Well, he got it a couple times, right? And he told me that this Jester, and it looks like a Jester. It's got the hat, but it's got this like devilish grin, dude. And it like sits like right here on you, dude, like right in your face, and it doesn't let you look away. And it's just like laughing at you, and it's just looking at you, and it doesn't let you look away. It's just always looking at you, bro. And my therapist, he tells me, he's like, and this Jester is like, I don't know. It was like he was trying to tell me something, right? It's like he wanted me to do something like about my life because he knew I didn't have my shit figured out.
Sure, the Jester isn't a metaphor for just people.
It is probably a fucking metaphor, right? But then he a couple years go by, he doesn't mess around with LSD or anything like that, right? Does it again because he wants to get back into it, and he wants to start to, because he always did it with some sort of a spiritual sort of backing to it, right? So he takes it again. He's trying to discover himself. He's trying to figure his shit out in his brain, and he gets the Jester again, and it's right in his face. It's laughing at him again. Years have gone by, but he knew in the back of his head why the Jester was there again. He said, because I didn't make any changes in my life, the Jester wouldn't let me break through, wouldn't let me have a good trip, wouldn't let me experience any other experiences because I still haven't figured my shit out. And then he made a decision about the girl he was with. He moved out. He started a family. He started to go down his career path. And that's where he's at in life now. And now he says, I bet you if I did it nowadays, I wouldn't get the Jester. I think I've sorted my shit out. But he was basically there laughing at me because I thought I had shit figured out, and I thought I was opening my third eye, taking these drugs, these psychedelics, when really I was just a fool for thinking I was doing something so intellectual, so spiritual, when really I was the fool.
Yeah, and who's to say, like you said, this Jester, and like, I just like with the dreams and everything, I think you are tapping into something, but like it just doesn't seem like God has the time for all that. I really don't think, and I don't think looking at it like it's spiritual is going to, like, I think there's some levels to this shit, and I think there's people out there who figured stuff out, and there's things that we can't tap into and we're not allowed to tap into. Like this is something that my cousin told me a couple years ago, and it's the craziest theory ever. And it's like, but it's so like obvious. So you think of humans, when they're around, they conquer everything. If it doesn't matter what it is, if there's land to be had, someone wants to own it.
Right.
So you're going to tell me that there's no galactic government? If there was aliens, let's go a step further. What if there was a galactic government that runs everything, or countries
throughout like space
the Milky
and time?
Way country, like it's like the United States, and then the other galaxy is another country, and then there's certain planets that are not there yet. It's like a science experiment. There's certain ones that aren't ready yet. And
See, that sounds like simulation theory to me.
But I'm saying, like, if there
There's
wasn't
certain simulations that haven't made it to making a simulation yet.
What I'm saying is, why does everyone believe God stops at outer space? Why is God not also on the moon?
God is outer space.
Well, that's my point.
Isn't that what the religious people believe?
That's my point. So who's to say that with how complicated of a world we were living, we were born into a world with governments run by monkeys who, I should say monkeys, that ruins my, I'm saying is we're in a world where everybody is run by something. We're used to it, but that's crazy. We are born into a world by God where we are in control of, but people are in control that we don't like because God put us in a world that isn't correct. It's not correct. There is so many flaws. So who's to say that there isn't levels like that just as deep in outer space and that we are not there yet for them to let us in the galactic government, and that when there's a certain turning point, they're not going to ask. They're going to tell you, yo, bro, you're in the galactic government. If you don't, or even if they don't do it like that, what I'm saying is like, it's like if there was something out there that, like, you're going to tell me there's no way that aliens exist. And if there is aliens, you're going to tell me that there wasn't someone who would want to conquer everything. I think it's not far. It's all of it is crazy. But if you believe that there's aliens, then you can't sit here and tell me that you can't believe that a galactic government is that far fetched. If you believe in aliens, a galactic government is not only very possible, it's almost like,
who's to say they don't already control us?
Well, that's what I'm saying. They do.
They live type shit.
That they do. That's what I'm saying. If they did exist, what I'm saying is a government can control without having to reveal themselves.
They control us through our dreams.
Yeah, you want to talk like
you're talking about revelation of the mind right now.
You want to talk Illuminati? You want to talk conspiracies and secret societies that don't reveal stuff? What about the motherfucking aliens, bro? What if the Illuminati was aliens? What if the truth is that they need to keep everyone in control and there's certain people they need to replace that are getting too crazy? If Donald Trump starts acting too crazy, let's get the Donald Trump lookalike in there that we grew in the lab that does everything that we tell.
Did you see
the
that
Biden
shit?
Yeah. No, yeah, and we're hitting the generation where everything's on camera, everything's on AI. We're starting to catch them. When we hit the point where they can't hide, it's the day that they reveal themselves. And I think we're going to keep going until we hit the point that they either say, you're with us now or you're not. And it's not that like, yeah, I mean, just like...
Dude, or we get to the point where we create them. Think about that, dude. What if they're from the future?
I mean, you see what we're making now. We're not far off from making our own little simulation.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, I think these things, they're from the future. I think they're AI that's from the future, and they're trying to come back to the time of their inception, dude. Because, like, think about it. If humans, we would go back to, like, the beginning of it all, right? And see if Jesus was actually a man, was a real thing. Like, we would go and we would try and rediscover everything if we had the ability to travel through space and time. So now what if it's this AI, this sentient, this AGI that is just lapsed every other AI, and it's become just the mega...
What, and that would be God?
Encompassing AI. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that that is what the future ruler is of this galactic space government that you're talking about. You're saying that we're all controlled.
Well, no. So let me ask you this: so
right?
if AI gets so smart, who's to say that AI doesn't hit God level intelligence, where it becomes so smart, it becomes sentient on what is good? And just at the same point of, like, you know how I told you that naturally I think good is better than light is better than dark all the time, and light, it's better to have a light all the time. And I believe that that's a truth of the world. It's a universal truth that will never change, and it's something that is just the way it is. You can't. It's like physics. You can't change it the way it is, and light will always be better to be here. And like, I forget where I start these things. I don't know where I'm going with them, but I do know where I'm going with them. I just wish I could work it out better.
It's hard to articulate in the words because we're talking about such ideas and philosophy.
They're so complicated ideas. I think of like 1,000 different things while I'm saying the sentence, and I just want to take every single route. I'm like, that's
the circular moment here in this podcast, because I started off the podcast saying how your brain is firing on so many different fronts. It's like... You're amazing, dude. You're cool.
Thank you, bro.
It's fucking awesome.
You're amazing, bro.
Dude,
like this.
Talking to you for almost 2 hours, it's been fucking phenomenal. Dude.
We cooked. We thought we were gonna stop at an hour. What was I say? An hour?
We were
43?
cooking, dude. I wasn't gonna cut it off. Yeah. I wasn't gonna cut it off, dude. But we gotta have you back on.
Hell yeah, I'm with it.
I feel like we didn't even touch on certain things that we talked about talking about before.
I think I'm going to start a podcast now. That was like, because I feel like it's like, you got to, like you were saying, what you were saying about me and my music, I started taking more from my podcast. I feel like I could gain that. When you said like you show the metamorphosis, like I feel like that advice sticks a lot more with podcasts. I should just like,
it's
just
all
being
circular,
me.
bro. Look at that.
Yeah,
That's our full circle moment of the
start
podcast.
Showing who I am and just being me. And who
it.
cares if it's stupid or
Fuck
bad,
around
and just
find out.
And just do it anyway. And if you say something stupid, it's just you. It's just your.
And then we sit here and we think about it and we contemplate and we fix.
And you drop a comment, let us know how bad we suck, and then we go do it again the next day.
Exactly. All right, we're gonna leave it there.
Awesome.
That was fun.
Hell yeah, man.
That was
I
fun.
bet.